Here we are at Auckland Grammar in Auckland, New Zealand. This is just a project that's been running and probably nearing the completion end for about the last year and a half to 2 years. That the New Zealand Sports Turf Institute took from basically right from the beginning of a feasibility study right the way through to project management and through to completion, which we're nearly at after the installation of this last irrigation line. Basically, just to give you a bit of background about this site, it's based right on the top of what is quite an old volcano, and consequently what you've got is some really good structured volcanic soil, and this is a really sort of classic case of where took a rare opportunity to take advantage of the fact that a real full slip drainage system wasn't necessarily the best idea, and was probably a bit of an over specification. And we did some percolation tests and some pump and well tests through the existing soil field, and we found that the drainage rates we were achieving were actually quite good. So we then took that opportunity to basically put on what is a straight sand carpet of about 100 mils straight onto top of the soil after we did some levelling. And what we've ended up with is a field that's really come through winter quite well in terms of the drainage performance. It's been a pretty bad winter, especially in terms of sports, because we probably had there about 10 to 12 weekends of what was rain on Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and the field stood up to it quite well. The field was originally kind of stolinised with agridark, and the school then took on the option of sowing ryegrass into it. Actually just sprayed polka on the power annual, so hence that it's starting to yellow off, which you can see. The other part of the project, which included was the cricket block here, which was basically a full dig out. We used the actual Patamahi clay that was there and relayed the scoria base and boxed it off, graded it, and then basically rebuilt the Patamahi block with, I think it was about 125, 150 mils. So that's gone really well. We've actually re-levelled it twice now, and basically got a consolidation down to depth, so we're quite happy with that. There was some re-levelling got done on the field, just regrading. There were some spots on the field where we found this winter just probably more through compaction with machinery that didn't drain so well, but eventually this summer planned to work on those areas and just do a lot of verti-draining to try and break open the holes. Difficulties experienced, whilst probably for the most part we're installing the irrigation system, and just the main problem with that being just the rocks and things like that. And as you can see on the other turfcast, that you can see the rocks that get pulled over are quite severe. In this case, what we're going to do, we basically run the trench you can see operating at the minute through. We then clean it out. We'll then bed down the bottom of the trench with sand, on which the pipes will get laid down, and then just coat the pipe in sand. And that's basically just to get stop the pipe from getting cut open or grating against the rock, and over a period of years it'll basically wear away to the point where you start to get leaks. So you will basically bed it in sand and then put it back in up to about 100 mils from the top, the soil that's been pulled out, and at that point we'll get in some clean sand and basically fill that up to 100 mils. Now we're just looking at the width of the trench, and we would originally planned that it was going to be about 200 mils wide, but looking at it's only about probably 80 to 100 mils wide, so we think we'll be able to basically just fill it back up with sand and fertilise it and seed it, and basically try and get some grass re-established from there. We'll maybe pop some turf just in this little irrigation line, just because it crosses the athletics track that's going to be marked out just recently. So yeah, that in a nutshell is basically what has happened here at Auckland Grammar. Been an interesting site, and it's quite a spectacular site. It sits right on the top of a mountain, of a volcano, sorry, and and looks down across pretty much the most part of Auckland. It's probably one of the best noted sports schools in Auckland, but what it has shown is it's a really good example that slit drainage isn't always the answer, and in this case they've probably saved themselves the best part of $80,000 to $100,000, and ended up with a field that is as good as a slit drainage system would have been.